Autobots, roll out!
Hello and welcome to That's Just Prime, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Dark of the Moon DA-03 Voyager Optimus Prime with trailer, and I love this toy. Originally released in May of 2011, I'm not sure what the original retail for this guy was. He was a Japanese exclusive. I did purchase him on Amazon later that year, and if I remember correctly, it was somewhere around $50 to $60 that I paid for him on Amazon. Now, like I mentioned, he was a Japanese exclusive. This was a redeco or a remold of the previously released Voyager Optimus Prime that we got for Dark of the Moon here in the States. But they removed the solar panels, they gave him a new paint job, basically made him look a little more movie accurate. He got a new weapon, and then, of course, he's got this new trailer, which also acts as a storage for the weapons, which is really, really cool. Here in truck mode, Optimus is approximately 7 inches long, just right here at the tractor, about 2.5, 3 inches tall, depending on if you're measuring to the top of the sleeper or to the top of the smokestacks. And the trailer is approximately 11.5 inches long, about 4 inches tall. So this is giving us a total length of about 16 inches. And as you can see, Optimus just looks so much, in my opinion, so much better in this format here than he did with the one that we got with the solar panels here in the States. I absolutely love having an Optimus with a trailer, and of course having something that is movie accurate. Very, very cool. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the trailer for just a moment. I do want to point something out. The trailer does have a plug that goes into this hitch right here. However, Optimus does have these panels on the back here, so when you pop him in, you gotta really kind of pop him in there, and you have to kind of almost guess where he's at. So there he is. He's in place right there. Now he's only going to be able to turn about that much. If you turn any further, it's going to pop right off, as you saw right there. You can go ahead and take the legs of the trailer and rotate these forward, and that's going to create a stand for your trailer right there, which is really, really nice. And then we can concentrate here on Optimus himself. Now, I do need to point out, of course, that this guy came with all black wheels, both the trailer and the vehicle. So those are silver because I painted them. But other than that, there you go. There's Optimus truck in his truck mode, and like I mentioned, a lot more accurate to the movie than the one we got. Very, very nice. I really, really like the way this guy looks, and I prefer it much more than this version right here, as you can see, for comparison. They got rid of those solar panels that are all over the place. They got rid of those big, gigantic tanks that he had there, gave him a little smaller tanks. And then, a little more detailed in the paint job on the back panels there. So all around, I think this is a much better representation of Optimus Prime from Dark of the Moon. Now, he does come with a different weapon than the one that originally came with the Voyager version, and that's this one right here. So he's got this cannon, which very okay-ish, I guess, representation of the movie cannon that we got used to seeing. It's a cannon with a tailpipe sticking off the side at an angle, so I guess that's okay enough. And it does have that Mech Tech feature that all these weapons used to have. So when you push on it, it's going to rotate around, and it's going to transform into his sword. So you can have a cannon or you can have a sword. And I do have this problem with this weapon a lot. It gets stuck on me. I have two versions of this weapon, and they're always getting stuck on me. And I never really know why that is. So you can see I'm just having trouble with it. So there it is in sword mode, and then there it is in gun mode. And I hardly ever use this thing because of that right there. So like I said, I have two versions, and both of them have this problem. So I really don't know what the deal is. But there you go. Good idea, maybe not as well executed. Now, he does have some Mech Tech ports all over the place, so you can go ahead and load this guy up with weapons. If you want to do that, you can pop weapons on each side, and you can also mount the weapon on the back here on the hitch. You can mount it right in there, which actually doesn't look too terrible for this particular vehicle. I'm usually not a fan of this kind of thing, but in this case, it's not that bad. You can also take the trailer, and you'll notice that the trailer is littered with Mech Tech ports all over the place, on the front, on the back, on the sides, on the top. They are everywhere, which is really cool. So if you really, really wanted to, you can take a bunch of these Mech Tech weapons that came out during the movie figures and just load them up all over the place. You can load them on the sides. You can load them on the tops. They're all over the place. So you can go nuts and create like a super weaponized trailer if you wish to do so. Now, let's take a look at the trailer and open it up real quick before we get into the actual robot itself. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this up. And the trailer does form storage, which is really cool. So we saw the legs that rotate around to create the legs, or sorry, a stand for the trailer itself. You can open the back of the trailer up. There is a slot right there. And you can open the back of the trailer. And you can fit deluxe size vehicles in there. You can put some deluxe size vehicles in there. Depending on which ones you're using, something like a Bumblebee size, you can put up to 2 of those guys in there and actually roll them in and out, which is really, really cool. I don't have any of those on hand. They're all put away in storage right now. Now we're going to go to the front, the refrigeration unit. We're going to pop that thing open right there. And then if you look at the top, you can see the seam going all the way across the top there. And we're just going to pop this thing right open. And then we're going to stand them up just like that. Now, what's really, really cool, let me try and back this up as far as I can. And what's really cool about this trailer is you're going to notice all these Mech Tech ports all over the place here. And you'll notice I've already got a Mech Tech weapon for the other Optimus Prime sitting right there. So if you organize them properly, you can put up to 10 weapons in here, inside of the trailer, and close them up. And then, of course, like we mentioned, we can put some more weapons on the outside as well. So this actually made for a very cool storage. Actually, I miscounted. I said 10. You can put more weapons here on the center as well. But what this does is this turns into a very cool storage for all of these Mech Tech weapons that you got during Dark of the Moon. You've got all these figures that came with all these weapons, and you don't necessarily maybe want to display them all with your weapons, or if you're a kid, maybe you need somewhere to put your weapons away, especially in vehicle mode. If you're like me, you don't want to put your weapons on your vehicles. So, you know, thinking of it in terms as a kid, what do I do with my weapons? I want to put them away somewhere. This gives you that option. So this was really, really cool. Made for a cool storage unit where you can just put all your weapons in here and just kind of store them away. And you don't have to worry about them anymore. So anywhere you went, you can just close up the trailer and away you go. You've got a trailer full of weapons, which, you know, it's like I said, a cool storage for all the weapons, and B, it's also really neat to have on the go, and it kind of serves the same purpose that the trailer had in the movie, which was to store the weapons. So there you go. Very, very cool. This thing right here was a selling point for me, and I actually have 2 of these trailers because I got an extra one for this guy right here. So yeah, I went nuts with the trailers on this guy. Love it, love it, love it. So let's get back to Optimus here. And let's get into transformation. And transformation for this guy is going to be the exact same transformation that we had for the previous figure. So to start out, I'm just going to pop the smokestacks down. I'm going to take the tanks here and I'm going to pop these off to the side. Now, these do something different. Being new pieces, these do something different. When you bring them out, there is a tab right there. This was tabbed on the side of the truck right there. There's also a slot right inside there. So this is going to fold in on itself and tab right there. So the same thing on the other side. And then we are going to take the whole top of the truck here and pull it up and fold the back half of the truck down. Something is still tabbed in. There you go. And fold the entire back half of the truck down like that. Take the door panels here. These are going to open up. And then that panel is going to slide or rotate up. And then it's going to just kind of tab in place. Bring those down for the moment. I am going to do one more thing with these, but I'm going to do that later once we get, it'll be the last thing that I do once we get to robot mode. So I'm going to bring those there. Let's work on the legs here. We're going to take the back half of the truck, split this all in half. Take the wheels down here. We're going to rotate these, and then we're going to split the foot away from the wheel. And then these back wheels are going to split. They're going to rotate in. And this tab, or peg rather, is going to go into that port right there. So pop that in place, and then bring this panel down, snap it into place, and that leg is done. Same thing on this side. Bring down the foot, rotate the wheels. This foot pops off on me a lot, and I think it may just be on this copy because it doesn't do it with my other one. And by other one, I mean this one. the American one. Bring the panel down. That completes the legs, and bring out the little knee panels, and there is the bottom half of the truck done. Now, front half of the truck, we're going to take the hood, slide it forward, bend it, and push it down against the grill. Take the wheels, rotate these up, split the whole thing in half, pull it away from itself, flip this panel. You can see there's still a little bit of solar paneling molding going on in there. Flip this guy up, and then these slots are going to go into the mirrors right there. They're going to tab right in there. Reach back here, pull the head up, and then behind the head there is a port. There's a peg right there. Peg that in place. And then just pull the arms down, straighten everything out. Just like that. And then the last thing that I told you I was going to do is we have these tanks just kind of sitting there. What I like to do with these is, because they're on a ball joint, I like to just kind of fold them in and just tuck them away right back here behind Optimus's back, just like that. Get them all straightened out in his gorilla mode, gorilla stance there. And there is Optimus in robot mode. Here in robot mode, Optimus is approximately 7 inches tall, and he looks awesome, in my opinion, but I think all Optimuses look awesome. Now, he does suffer from the gorilla arm. This was a thing that a lot of people complained about for this mold, is that he can only bend his elbows inwards, so he can bring out the 27-inch pythons, brother. So he can do that. Now, you can turn him at the bicep here, and then the fist is on a ball joint, so if you want him to have proper elbows, you can do that, except that now you're going to have these wheels inside of the forearm. So it's really up to you how you want to use the arms. Since I'm mostly using it for display, usually I just have them like this with the gorilla arms. Doesn't bother me too much since I'm only displaying him. Now, as far as articulation goes, Optimus has a swivel on the head. Actually, he's got a ball joint on the head, so that's good. In and out at the shoulder, forward and backward, all the way around. He has a rotation at the bicep, double hinged elbow. That's for the transformation, so he does have a nice range of movement there. And then again, he's got a ball joint at the wrist, so you can turn it, and you can also bring that in and out like that as well. Also part of the transformation. Waist is on a rotation. He's also got universal at the hip, so in and out, forward and backwards. Rotation right at the thigh. You have a knee bend, and you got a little bit of pivot at the ankle. Not bad. So, yeah, I think this one, again, I'm going to say it again, he does look better than the version that we got here in the States. We'll bring that guy in. Just because, you know, he's got a little better paint job and a little less kibble than the one we got here in the States. Now, in robot mode, they don't look that terribly different from each other, except for the giant backpack on the American version, you can see there. And also, we don't have these quote-unquote jet turbines, whatever these things were supposed to be on the back of his feet. We've only just got the hitch as part of the heel spur. But other than that, you can see not very different in robot mode. Really, truck mode is where it makes all the difference. So, very nice to have both. In fact, originally I got rid of my American version, and then after I got the Japanese version, I kind of missed it, and I wanted to get it again, so I went ahead and did so. We'll get the weapons back, and so we'll give him his weapon so you can see what that looks like with his cannon. I really do like the way of this cannon looks. I really do like the look of it. I think it's a good-looking cannon, and I like the idea of it turning into the sword. It's just a shame that it doesn't work. Hey, it's working. So it's just a shame that most of the time it doesn't work. But there you go. That seems to be working just fine. So that's a good way to show it off. And it's supposed to be able to lock in right there. There you go. Oh my God, it worked. Finally, something went well on camera. So there you go. There it is in his sword mode. And for comparison, we'll show this one off with the American version. So we'll give this guy off his weapon. And, oh, his wrist is getting a little loose. Look at that. I may have to tighten that up. So there you go. And then, of course, you can see what it looks like with the trailer as well, which I should mention. The detail on the trailer is really cool. You can see the arrow there. And if we go up, you can see there's a Autobot symbol right in there. And there's all like this quote-unquote Cybertronian molding inside of the trailer, which is really cool. But you saw how easy I was able to get the weapons out and just give them to the to their holders, I guess. But it's real easy to just store the weapons in the trailer, pull them out, and then put them right back away again. So very, very cool. Yeah, super happy that I got this set. If you can hunt it down, definitely highly recommended. In my opinion, much better than the American version. And if you can find a trailer, if you can't find this one down, hunt this one down, but you can find a trailer. There are KOs of that trailer. You can get just the trailer by itself, and it will come with a version of this gun. And it will also come with a set of these tanks, so that you can replace these gigantic tanks off of this guy and give him normal tanks. It won't replace the solar panels, but it'll at least replace that much. There's a KO version that does that. So if you can't track this guy down, there is that option of getting a trailer for this guy. So at a very minimum, get a trailer for him so you can have somewhere to put all your weapons away. Very, very cool. And I think that about covers the Dark of the Moon DA-03 Voyager Optimus Prime with trailer. What did you think of this figure, and what would you like to see me review next? Let me know by leaving me a comment, give me some thumbs up, subscribe, and share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time on That's Just Prime.